Hey everybody, my name is Joe from Bellies Barbecue, and today we're going to do tri-tip sliders with a mushroom bacon cream sauce. Let's go. Alright guys, so we have a tri-tip here. It's almost 2 pounds. As you can see, it needs a little bit of trimming here. It has a fat cap that we're going to try to leave some on because it's a choice tri-tip. So whenever it's choice, I try to leave a little bit of fat cap on to make up for the lack of intramuscular fat. We're going to be using my 6-inch boning knife from Templar knife today. Now, if you guys have never heard of this brand or have never used this knife, it is my absolute favorite boning knife. I'll put a link in the description. You can also use Bellies 15 for 15% off. It's absolutely amazing. I've had it for months and I have yet to sharpen it. So we're going to be using that knife to trim this tri-tip. We're also going to be using my spicy jalapeno rub. This rub goes good with wings, beef, ribs. You could use it as a base layer or by itself. We're going to use it by itself today. We're going to tack it on pretty heavily because there's not too much salt, so don't be afraid to tack it on. Let's get started. Okay, time to trim this tri-tip. Any excess fat or silver skin that you see, just go ahead and remove it. Just try to be as superficial as possible. You don't want to be eating silver skin. It'll make your tri-tip chewy. Very unpleasant to eat. So just go ahead and remove the silver skin. It's okay if you take a little bit of meat off. It's not going to be the end of the world. Some fat you can leave on because it's okay to eat. But silver skin, you do not want to eat. Now this fat here, that's good fat. The pillowy fat that it's okay to eat. And it'll just melt into the meat. Now this fat cap here is pretty thick. I like to leave a little bit on, again, to make up for the lack of intramuscular fat on a choice tri-tip, but maybe you can see that it's a little too thick. So we're just gonna take a little bit off. So again, just slide your knife, try to be as superficial as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. So again, we're going to leave a little bit on, not too much. You can also reshape your tri-tip if it needs reshaping. For the most part, this looks okay. There you have it. It's time to season. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of oil here, just so the rub can adhere to the meat. So again, we're using my spicy jalapeno rub. You can tack it on pretty thick. Now normally I season my tri-tips 24 hours in advance to really get that flavor in. I don't have that time today, so I'm gonna try to let it sit for at least 30 minutes. And then we'll put it on the grill. All right, so as you can see, we're going 250. It's okay if it gets up to 275, I'm okay with that. But we're gonna go ahead and place the tri-tip in and get this thing going. We're using the Char Griller XD today. All right. Go ahead and place your tri-tip in, and we'll check it in about 30 minutes or so. All right, guys, the tri-tip is on the smoker, and I didn't mention this earlier, but we're actually doing a reverse sear tri-tip. That means we're gonna smoke to an internal temp of 115. We're then gonna sear the tri-tip until it gets a nice crust. We'll let it rest for 30 minutes, and then we'll slice. So let's go. All right, guys, as the tri-tip is getting up to temp, we're almost there at 115. We're gonna start the cream sauce. And the first ingredient is going to be cooking your bacon. This is a 12-ounce pack of bacon, and we're gonna cook it all. So place that on the grill, let that cook, and we're gonna start the cream sauce. As this bacon is cooking, do not get rid of this bacon fat afterwards. We're going to sear the tri-tip in this bacon fat. Let's go ahead and chop up this bacon with a nice cleaver. All right, go ahead and throw about a stick of butter in the cast iron. Throw some mushrooms, This is 8 ounces of mushrooms, and let it cook down a little bit. All right, once the mushrooms are cooked down a little bit, go ahead and add 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. All right, we're gonna add 6 ounces of Parmesan cheese. Want to add it in there, and it'll thicken up a little bit. Now time for the bacon. One thing to note is do not season this cream sauce. There's enough salt in that Parmesan cheese and in that bacon where salt and pepper is not really needed. However, after trying this cream sauce, if you feel like you need more salt, go ahead and add it. All right guys, tri-tip is almost done. We're reaching for 115. We're at 112 right now. We're gonna pull it and take it out to the bacon grease. All right, here we go. All right, tri-tip is done. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it in butcher paper and let it sit for 30 minutes. Okay, tri-tip is done. Cream sauce is still cooking down. Now we have some sweet Hawaiian bread, so get yourself a bread knife. We're gonna slice it across. We're gonna put it in a half tray and build our sliders. We slice the bread in half. Now we're gonna put some smoked Gouda. It's important to put a cheese that melts really well. I'm gonna add 1 extra slice on top. All right guys, tri-tip has rested for 30 minutes. We're now gonna slice. I know this is a boning knife, but it is too sharp and too good to not use it. We're again using my 6-inch Templar knife. It's important to slice your tri-tip really thin when you're doing these sliders. The thinner you slice them, the easier and better chew to them when you make your sliders, I promise you. Never slice tri-tip thick. All you'll get is a chewy piece, and that is something that you definitely do not want. We're slicing as thin as possible. We're gonna add them to the sliders. You get everything nice and melty. Now look at that. That is absolutely perfect. All right, that cheese sauce is getting a little thick. That bacon is incorporating really well. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab some of this cream sauce and add it to the sliders. All right, we're gonna place the top of the bread on top and throw it back into the smoker. Now, one thing I like to do is that leftover tri-tip juice, I like to throw it on top. I'll use a brush and brush it over. All right, so get that jalapeno rub, add a little more on top. Throw it into the smoker and let it all melt. All right guys, sliders have been in the smoker for about 20 minutes. The cheese is nice and melty, so let's go ahead and get them. There you go. Let's cut a few open to see what they look like. And most importantly, let's try it. I mean, sliders are great. Nice cream sauce, thin sliced tri-tip, the bacon, the mushroom, everything ties so well together with the jalapeno topping on top. It's absolutely great. If you guys like what you see, please subscribe. I'll try to get videos out every week on different types of cooks that I do. You can follow me on Instagram at Bellies Barbecue. Thanks for watching.